Okay, there should be sound now. Is there sound now? Sound. Yes. Oh. Welcome. Oh, Stephanie, I want you to learn some sign language, girl. We're going to sign it up. Sign me up. Won't you start me up? Hello, TNT family. Hello, mates. Again, I had these binders out, so why wouldn't I? I'm going to start in 2 seconds. Okay. Like I said, I'm out of alcohol. It's tragedy. Fucking tragedy. Reading lips for a living. So I did an episode on Ann Meadows when I went on J for Justice. And it was really important. I'm a binder girl too. The best to organize. Yes. And damn. I wanted to look into why Chris Watts was doing what he was doing that morning. He made phone calls and stuff like that. Obviously, he called the school. Obviously, now you guys are going to find out who Ann Meadows is. Ann Meadows is their real estate agent. So, Ann Meadows is report number 29 from the CBI. And Stacey Galbraith was the amazing agent on her case, or like dealing with her. Fact number 1. Ann Meadows was contacted first by Shanann on 8/10 from Facebook Messenger. Number 1. So Ann told Galbraith that Shanann Watts sent her a message in the DMs, Facebook Messenger, on 8/10 to tell her that she and Chris were thinking about moving. She said that she would be out of town and back in town Sunday night. She wanted to get together with Ann to discuss this after she returned. Shanann asked for the best sites to be looking for homes on, and Ann sent her to REC, Colorado. Ann sent Shanann a mobile app to search with, and then sent Shanann a follow-up message suggesting they get pre-approved for a loan to begin with. Shanann did not reply to that message, and Ann expected that she would once she returned. Yes, she knew them from this first place. Chris told Ann that no one, this is the written report. Chris told Ann that no one knew yet, but he and Shanann were getting divorced after not getting along for over a year. Ann was shocked and told Chris that she was sorry. He told Ann that not even his family knows. Again, this is written work, not from the handwritten, but this is typed up. As the day 8/13 progressed, Ann sent text messages to Chris and Shanann about the house. Shanann was usually the vocal on issues, and Shanann was not weighing in on the group texts. Ann justified that perhaps the divorce situation had Shanann not participating in the topic of the text. and discussed the comps in the neighborhood and updates to the home by text in effort to estimate the value of the home. Don't mean this in a mean way, but how would she think they'd get pre-approved after defaulting on the mortgage? Oh, Stephanie. She didn't think that they'd get pre-approved. Anne doesn't know anything about that. Anne just simply said, well, you can start by getting pre-approved. Anne had no idea what their financial situation was like. Anne saw on Facebook that Shanann was missing and realized that Shanann had not weighed in all day when she was texting Chris. Anne reached out to Chris and stated that she realized Shanann was missing and asked if he was okay. He assured Anne that he had reported to the police and she could send prayers. Anne knew Chris and Shanann before they bought the house they lived in. They were both loving to each other and seemed really in love. Shanann was lovely, sweet, and ambitious. Chris was quiet and a good father. Anne knew nothing about the Watts finances. Anne believed that Shanann was successful with Thrive and that she worked hard. Again, this is Anne Meadows being interviewed by Stacey Galbraith from CBI. I thanked Anne for her time, and this was on 8/15. And the reason that Agent Galbraith contacted Anne Meadows by phone on 8/15 is because of Cassie. Allegedly. I thanked Anne for her time. Anne forwarded screenshots of her communication with Chris and Shanann. So I double checked the screenshot. LaBelle forever. So I checked the first screenshot, and what that is in the discovery is a picture of the phone just to show what time the phone call was made and how many minutes it lasted. In Facebook Messenger, so people that want to say that Chris just called Anne Meadows up out of the blue and how, he just put his house up for sale that day, like right then and there. No, Shanann reached out to her on the 10th. It was already talked about, they're selling the house. So what I always thought was funny about that is, why are you telling Cassie and Josh that you guys can move in? Move where? Move in where? There's not going to be a home there. Because whether everybody was alive or dead, they're selling that house. That was happening. She had already contacted the realtor on the 10th. And if you actually pay attention to what the 10th was, that would have been on Friday. Friday at 10:25 a.m., Shanann asked Anne about Realtor.com. Shanann reaches out to Anne to tell her that she and Chris would like to talk to her about selling the house. She told Anne that she was out of town until late Sunday. Anne asked Shanann where they wanted to move. Shanann told her Chris was talking about Brighton, stating they cannot move too far south due to his job. Shanann said they had just talked about it last night, meaning that they would have talked about this on Thursday. She then said they have thought about it off and on, but the construction behind them was holding them back. They now have a lot of it done. Before Shanann paints the baby's room and more, she wanted to see where they are and their options. Anne suggested Brighton and Erie. Shanann said, they do not want to downsize for the same price they are paying, though. Now, on Friday at 10:25 a.m., Shanann asked Ann about Realtor.com or Zillow. Ann suggested neither one. She said the recolorado.com is the best to look, and said that she would send her an app and set it all up. Then on Saturday at 10:05 a.m., Ann messaged to suggest that Shanann talked to one of Ann's lenders. And then Shanann did not reply at all. And then these are the screenshots that I went ahead and looked at. And what I did was I counted every individual damn box because it would count as a timeline transaction. And as I was doing this, I went and looked at the gang unit and their idea of what happened with Ann Meadows. And I noticed that they fucking lied. And they switched the order of the text messages to make it seem like, and I'm going to read it right here. I was like, what is this shit? These are all my notes from it. They said that Ann had no idea about the events. Remember how Ann messaged him because she saw Facebook? She knew that Shanann was missing. But the gang unit comments and says that Ann did not know, and that Chris didn't say anything. Why are you lying about that? So the gang unit totally said whatever they wanted. But Stacey Galbraith, remember, this is the CBI. She talked to Ann on the 15th, interviewed Ann herself. The gang unit didn't interview anybody. They were just simply putting together this timeline, how they wanted to make it seem like, their narrative, everything that they were trying to say happened and how it happened. Text between Ann Meadows and Chris. Monday, 12:27 p.m. Ann texted Chris to tell him she was working on his market analysis and asked about upgrades to the house. The reason that this text came in at 12:27, because remember, Chris called her in the morning. Chris called her in the morning, had a 3-minute conversation, and then everything after that went to text. And it was a three-way text. Baby room? Where was that going to be, as they had no spare room? Bella B, what's up? Just saying hi to everybody. What's up, Boston? Thank God you're here, Boston. I wouldn't know what to do with you. GGG unit. Yes, the gang unit. We'll get into that whole baby situation in the room. So this was at Monday at 12:27. Again, when you have a three-way going, Shanann would be getting these texts as well. And then when Ann is messaging, Shanann gets the text as well as Chris gets the text because they're all in it. But at 12:27, this message, Nicole Atkinson hadn't left yet with the phone. So this would just have Ann messaging Chris, which would be 1. Chris messaging Ann back. Okay. 2. And once that phone, though, would be moving and somebody made a text while that phone would be moving, then Shanann would pop in. You get what I'm trying to say? Like Shanann, it would say, quote unquote, I'm driving when I get where I'm going. That would have happened if the text messages were happening while that phone was moving, like how what's her name's happened, Amanda Thayer. Chris replied that the basement is still unfinished and there were no upgrades. Anne asked about a comparable model in their neighborhood, and Chris agrees to drive by it when he gets home. Anne says that it is under contract and she will call the realtor to see what it sold for to get a number. Anne then asked if Shanann was okay. She hadn't weighed in all day. Chris replied with, "She hasn't been around all day. It's very odd." Anne replied with, "That is really weird," and asked if he was worried. She asked if Chris has checked with Shanann's friends or called to report her missing. Chris told Anne that he has done it all and that the police are handling it now. And then at 5:47 p.m., Chris thanked Anne. She asked if he drove by the comparable house. He said that he just did, and that is the exact model as the house that they had. Anne was waiting to hear back from the agent, and then they could set up a time to meet. This is Stacy Galbraith typing this out. Well, so I then examined shit. And you know how when you take a screenshot and you just have the little check mark versus when you see someone's little picture, then that means they actually looked at the fucking shit. Okay. So I looked at Anne's screenshots of the DMs, and it goes, all of this is like their normal dialect, but then we get to the Saturday ones. And on Friday, the last thing that Shanann wrote was she said, "Thank you." Well, then on Saturday, remember, Anne says that she reached back out. And obviously these screenshots were taken on 8:15. This stuff, Anne's last stuff on Saturday that Shanann would have had Saturday to look at, Sunday to look at, it just has the little check next to it, doesn't have a little face, which means that Shanann didn't look at her, this particular DM interaction at all, ever again. And she did the same thing with Amanda Thayer, was in her DMs, and Shanann wouldn't message back. And then Taylor Welch, which we'll get to. So I noticed that it was just like a little check mark versus her little face next to it. So she never looked at any of those messages, Saturday or Sunday. And then this is where these next two pages is the interaction of Ann Meadows, Chris in three-way. So I started counting all these because these would be all timeline transactions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But I had to take away 5 of them because they happened after, he was already at the house, because I'm only trying to account for the missing timeline transactions between 12:27 and the time he got home. And then I noticed that they purposely put these out of sequence when they did it like this. And when the gang unit reported all this, they then flipped the order and then also didn't put in some of the transactions when they're clearly right here. Like, you can count them and see all the bubbles. It's like, why the fuck are you lying about this shit? Well, Anne says, remember, this is a typed up version. Anne just says that Shanann didn't weigh in all day. So I went back. Is Shanann okay? She hasn't weighed in all day. I want to know if Anne was ever asked, did you ever get that weird message? Because they were cutting things. They were very specific on how this was going down, like these screenshots. Why would the gang unit make it seem like Chris didn't tell Anne, was trying to hide it? Why would you? He wasn't trying to hide this from Anne. Anne saw it on Facebook, and he responded. That's really weird too. Must be worried. Have you checked with her friends or called and reported her missing? He then said, I've done it all. Police are handling it now. And that was after that message was well after all the stuff had already happened. Because remember, Rourke made a big deal and said that he's putting the house up for sale. He wasn't putting the house up for sale. Shanann reached out to Ann Meadows. Like, when I started thinking, like, this guy is going about his day. Like, fucking, like, that's what he was supposed to do, get in touch with Ann Meadows. Like, hey, we're selling the house. Like, it wasn't like he just called her up out of the blue. He knew that Shanann reached out. They had talked about it. And now he wants to talk to her to make sure this is, you know, hey, this needs to happen because, you know. But wouldn't that be the last thing on your mind if you just annihilated your family? That you're just doing what you're supposed to do? And then this page, it's Ann Meadows' communication, and it's all blank. They redacted completely all page 6. Why do you have to hide the back and forth with the fucking realtor? Why are you hiding that? I think it was to show that Shanann may not have weighed in all day, but there's 2 back-to-back timeline transactions between 114, not 114. At 12:43, there's a missing timeline transaction. And there are 48, 4, 5, and there's 4. There was 4 transactions between the 2 of them, but the gang unit only wanted to show 2 of the messages. Why didn't they show the other 2? And when Amanda Thayer said that when she wrote Shanann, it came back in 2 separate text messages, so that would be considered 2 timeline transactions. It's like it was color copied and pasted, and Shanann's was gone. So just because Shanann didn't weigh in all day doesn't mean that Shanann's phone didn't say I was driving or something. You'd have to ask Ann Meadows, and that was never asked. No hand written notes was either with this. but it was not Chris that contacted Ann Meadows. It was Shanann on Friday. And then Ann Meadows talked to her on Saturday, never returned her message, and nor did she even look at the fucking message. And she was on her phone the whole time while in Arizona. And she had messaged her before she found out about the quote unquote dinner spending money. Just annihilated my family, no big deal. Well, a couple things with it. No, number one is that it was Shanann that reached out. I believe that Chris is like told to do things, and that's what he does. So he was just doing what was ever like on the agenda that day. But because it happened so early in the morning, like you just, if you supposedly just annihilated your family, I don't think you're thinking about your to-do list. But then again, I've never annihilated my family, so I don't know. But then why is the gang unit lying about how the DMs went down and how the text messages went down? And why are you hiding timeline transactions? Why are you hiding what it said? They were misreporting it, and they were flipping things in different order. They made it seem like stuff happened before 5:47, and it didn't. When Ann Meadows asked, because she saw Facebook, it was like at 5:47 when she texted that. Why would you make it seem like it happened at like one? They made it seem like that conversation happened at 1:14 p.m. Why? Morons. I mean, that's just, oh, we just made a mistake. The fuck. No, you didn't. Okay, I see. I get it, Lana. Sorry if I made anyone uncomfortable. No idea. We don't. I mean, no big deal. Good night, everyone. Stay blessed. Yes. Weighed in as in Weight Watchers. Yes. She didn't weigh in on the conversation. And it's normally like that's Shanann's thing. Well, why aren't you talking about, well, Shanann didn't get back to you on Saturday and nor Sunday. And then she's like, oh, maybe she's just upset about this. Because remember, Chris tells Ann when she's he's on the phone with Ann. He just straight up calls her, has a 3-minute conversation, and then Ann texts and puts them in a 3-way. Ann put them in the 3-way text, not Chris. Ann did. Because after she had heard when Chris said they're getting divorced, but nobody knows about this, a realtor in that situation, because I bet you they deal with this all the time, divorces and houses and stuff like that. Well, you're not just going to go through the one party. Okay. You have to be, not biased. So you put both of them in. But here, what's crazy to me is that Shanann, when she reaches out to Ann, this is her conversation with Ann. We're just looking at, then she's talking about the back of the house and all those, that new builds that were going on. Doesn't say, yeah, me and Chris have a problem. Nothing. It's just like, no, like nothing's going on. No big deal. It was out of order on purpose, and then they purposely wrote it out of order when they did the report. When they extracted the data, that means like they're typing it in. They typed it purposely wrong, trying to make it seem like Chris was hiding the fact that, or that Anne asked earlier, and that didn't happen like that. All of it was just whack. Yeah, I'm like, I don't ever have these binders out, so here's another one that's funny. Not funny, it's a lie. You guys want to hear Cindy Dorsett's? Cindy Dorsett's is good. Cindy, come on down, girl. I think she's actually in this one. Cindy was interviewed twice. Oh, wait, where are those? Oh, there it is. Number 4. My eyes are going. So the CBI interviews Cindy. Cindy's in Arizona. And I saw this and I was like, the hell? The fuck you talking about? I was like, we just straight up lying. Oh man, don't do that. This binder's a tight one, tight squeeze. I know Boston wants LaBelle. I need to change that binder. That's gonna bust. Okay. Hey Mia, what's up, girl? Okay. August 15th, 2018. Prior to this phone call, I was advised that Dorsett was in contact with Shanann over the weekend at the work conference in Scottsdale. I reached out to her at approximately 11:35 a.m. and she agreed to speak with me regarding Shanann. Cindy said that Shanann arrived in the morning of Friday, August 10th, and that the work conference for LaBelle occurred at Embassy Suites Hotel in Scottsdale, Arizona. Dorsett primarily contact with Shanann Watts occurred on Sunday evening, August 12th, when they went to dinner at approximately 5 p.m. prior to dropping Shanann and Nikki off at the airport to fly home to Denver. During the dinner on Sunday evening, Cindy said Shanann confided in her that she and Chris were having marital difficulties. Cindy recalled that Shanann told her that after Shanann returned home from a vacation to North Carolina, Chris was distant. During the vacation, Cindy said Shanann said Chris was not returning her phone calls. And I think what she means by that, because it was really confusing, is I'm not guessing it was Arizona that phone calls weren't being returned, but when she was in North Carolina and he was here in Denver. But that doesn't even make sense. Shanann told Cindy she asked Chris if he still loved her, and he didn't answer. Shanann also said Chris doesn't touch her anymore. Generally, Shanann described Chris as a non-confrontational person and having his head in the sand, especially when it came to the kids. Shanann told Cindy that Chris Watts told her it would be nice if he could hang a picture on the wall at home without her permission. Cindy said Shanann confided in her that they were no longer compatible in their marriage. Cindy said Shanann also told her she was planning a getaway for August 18th and 19th, as well as potential counseling with Chris. Cindy said Shanann was concerned about losing her husband. While at dinner, Shanann found out Chris had spent approximately $60 at dinner when he was supposed to go to a Rockies game. Cindy said that they were trying to figure out what he bought for that amount because the website for the restaurant showed a burger and a beer should have cost $15. Not in Denver. I don't know what they're talking about. Regarding Shanann potentially being a missing person, Cindy said Shanann was a helicopter mom and would have never left without medication, not missed a doctor's appointment, and would have had the kids show up to school. Well, my notes right here said, what do you mean, Cindy? Well, right there, you're wrong because she missed her 8-8 appointment and her 8-9 appointment that she just canceled for no reason because she had Nicole Atkinson at the house. Hey, I'm just going to run to my doctor's appointment really quick and I'll be right back. Like an hour. So right there, I was like, Cindy doesn't know shit. Cindy said she has not met Chris Watts in person. Cindy said she has not met Chris Watts in person. And I said, wait, what? Over the course of the weekend, they were together. Cindy said she observed Shanann was looking tired and wasn't eating. Cindy said she had to remind Shanann to eat. And then Cindy said she also told me that she was aware that Shanann canceled a gender reveal party due to the conflict with Chris. So Cindy thinks the party's canceled for the gender reveal, right? And in this interview that happened on 8/15, Cindy says that she's never met Chris in person. Cindy said she has not met Chris in person. Right? Well, Cindy was interviewed a different time. Oops, Cindy. Remember this stuff, Boston? Is it just all coming back to you? So Cindy was an eager beaver. Cindy called the police department numerous times. She was adamant to talk. When Shanann went missing right away, she called the one time and she's like, check the garbage cans. If how'd she word it? She said Shanann would always do 3 steps. So there's got to be wrappers in there. If there's not wrappers in there, then Shanann never basically woke up and never did her 3 steps. And I'm thinking well, what if the trash is full of shit? So Cindy though calls a couple different times, and she was demanding the police call her back. And so, where is this one? Come here, Cindy. Where are you? Okay, here it is. The phone interview with Addie and Cindy. James. So that would be 47. Okay. So I looked up everything that had to do with Cindy. This is when a 9-4 Detective Baumhauer requested that they contact the following individuals that he had spoke with on 8/13 to request the correct spelling of their names. So Cindy talked to the police on 8/13, then she talked to the CBI on 8/15, and then she talked to them again on 9/4. And when they had called Cindy advised she would cooperate in the case, but was reluctant to provide me with her address because she did not want her physical address published on the court document. Cindy advised her name was released with the affidavit and a witness list. Cindy said she had no problem giving it, but was afraid it being on a public document. Cindy advised after the second affidavit came out, she probably had 5 times more phone calls, including in the middle of the night. Cindy said they had her phone number somehow and said, like, media, stuff like that. The information was relayed to Detective Baumhauer. So she was then talked to on 8/13, which is where she makes her oops. Okay. I shouldn't be laughing, but I think Cindy just wasn't understanding the question, maybe, but. Okay. Okay, Cindy. Here we go, Cindy. All right. This officer first spoke to Sam Paisley. She advised that she lived in Maryland and knows Shanann through work. And they start, saying whatever. The last time that she spoke with her was July 18th via text, and that Sam said that most of her information was coming from Addie and Cindy, who she was texting with. Sam advised Chris didn't want the baby Shanann was currently pregnant with, and that he wanted a separation. Sam advised that she thought Chris ate at the Rusty Bucket in Westminster around 8 p.m. and arrived 2 hours later. That's clearly not what happened, but if you remember right, remember how Chris was by the Rusty Bucket before. It was in like Google searches and stuff like that. Now, then this guy speaks to Cindy. I then spoke to Cindy. She was in Arizona with Shanann. Cindy lives in Arizona. Her and Addie had dropped Nikki and Shanann off at the airport Sunday evening around 7 p.m. Cindy saw Nikki for the work event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Cindy advised they worked for LaBelle. Cindy advised Shanann told them that Chris was becoming distant and said that they weren't compatible. Cindy said that Shanann was blindsided by this. Blindsided? Blindsided. No. That's not true. Cindy said they were making plans to go away for the weekend. She mentioned that Chris recently deleted his Facebook account. So she told everybody that he deleted Facebook. Remember, he did that on was it Thursday? So she made it known to everybody when she was in Arizona that he deleted his Facebook account. So when I say that they were talking in Arizona, all these women, they were thriving and they were sleuthing. Chris used to post on Facebook how proud he was of Shanann and the kids. Cindy said Shanann was pregnant with a boy, so Cindy knows it's a boy now too. I thought this was a big secret. Shanann was pregnant with a boy, but they had canceled the gender reveal party because the energy wasn't right. Cindy said Chris was or had recently started to get more fit, and Cindy advised that Shanann was a very routine-oriented person and described her as a helicopter mom. Cindy described Chris as a passive and calm person. She's never met him, though. Passive and calm, never met him. Cindy said Shanann has lupus. She also said Shanann was very distraught about Chris and that he was getting annoyed with her recently. Cindy advised she has known Shanann for a couple years and saw them in April or May in New Orleans for work. So remember, this is the 13th. This interview is the first one. She never talks about how she never met Chris. That doesn't come until the CBI report, which was 2 days later. Okay? So I'm reading this, and I'm like, and I had it, and I highlight it. Cindy advised she has known Shanann for a couple of years and saw them in April or May in New Orleans for work. Wait, what? Okay, so she's saying she saw Chris and Shanann in New Orleans. Well, Chris wasn't in New Orleans. Number one. Number two, she makes no mention in this report that she's never met Chris. Right? And number three, wait, what? So did you think that Chris Miller was her husband? Wait, what? Because she's also saying that Chris was Cindy described Chris. How are you describing Chris? You've never met him. But right now, this guy has no idea about that. Because he says, well, when's the last time you saw them? And she says, well, the last time I saw them would be in New Orleans. I think we were there April or May. When Shanann conceived her baby, right? She said Chris is passive and a calm person. So I then see the second, this report, and I'm reading it. Dorset also told me she was aware Shanann had canceled the gender reveal party. So you got that right. Cindy said she has not met Chris in person. I died. Your camera is ready for backup. Follow the instructions in the Cindy Safe app. So, how close do you think Cindy and Shanann were back? I mean, how close do you think they were? So, to the CBI on 8/15, somebody did their job and said and asked this question: how long have you known them? You know, where the guy probably from the police department said, how long have you known Shanann? About 2.5 years. Okay. But she never, the question didn't come up. So did you hang out with her and Chris? How do you know, do you know Chris? Do you know anything about him? Wouldn't that come up? Well, yeah, I hung out with them in New Orleans. Okay. So that's the last time you saw them was in New Orleans. Yeah, that's the last time I saw them. Okay. So, and then she's asked just 2 days later, and she tells the CBI, I've never met Chris. What the fuck is it, Cindy? And she's like, oh, fuck. I thought that was Chris. I thought that, oh, so that wasn't Chris that came with her? I mean, or do you think that the cops just got it wrong? No, I think Cindy thought that Chris Miller was Chris Watts. And now, when you actually like look at that, because this would be on the stand, this is what you would go off of. This is how you get asked questions. This is what the defense would say. They'd be like, Mr. Said, how are you? I noticed that when you talked to the police, do you remember this? Do you remember talking? Do you recall this? And he would ask, and you'd say, yeah, sure do. Oh, you do? Okay, so it says here that the last time that you saw Shanann, that you saw them, it was in New Orleans. Back just in April or May. Yeah. But then you talked to the CBI just 2 days later, and you told them that you never met Chris. Did you start seeing the pictures of Chris on the news after he did his interview, and you're like, holy shit, that's not the guy that I saw. That's not the guy I saw. Oh my God, the guy that I thought was her husband was Chris Miller. I met him. So you have to pay attention. She would have never seen pictures of Chris. Or wait, she's saying, oh, wait, because he posted on Facebook all the time. Then how do you not know that that's who Chris is when you would have met him in New Orleans? Do they look that much alike? I just don't think that Cindy and Shanann were that close. So, like, but just a big clusterfuck right there. All right, Cindy, great interview. Thanks a lot for your time. Cindy be like, oh, fuck, got this. Cindy would just be like, I think when she realized it was, I mean, how do you mess up that question though? Like, she tells the police that the last time she saw them was in New Orleans, but then she tells the CBI, and she tells him that he's very passive, and like, she's describing him. If you've never met somebody, how are you describing them? Oh, you're just describing him off of Facebook. I've never met him, but he's definitely calming and he's passive. What? Okay. Oh, but then you talked to Agent Hasselback from the CBI, and you said that you never met Chris. Yeah, that's right. Well, which is it, Cindy? Did you meet the motherfucker or not? You are sharp, Lana. Very sharp. I mean, and then, oh my God, she would never have left without medication. She would never have missed a doctor's appointment. Well, Cindy, now you're 3 for 3. You're batting horribly, because she did miss 2 doctor's appointments. She canceled them on 8/8 and 8/9, and she had a sitter there. She had somebody there present with the little girls, her little girls, and she could have went to her doctor's appointment because she was spotting in North Carolina. So she wasn't feeling good, and you're about to go fly, but she doesn't go on 8/8. She cancels it, and she makes it, for 8/9, and then she cancels that and makes it for that Monday. But yet no one like Cassie, no one like NA, nobody's saying to her, nobody knew about the 8/8 and the 8/9 doctor's appointments. Because she was telling people that she was spotting in North Carolina, right? And that she couldn't go to the doctor's because it'd be way too much money in North Carolina. Oh, that is CBI 4. Hello, Lana. Is this what you're going to court for? Yeah, for Chris Watts. I'm going to court for Chris Watts. Yeah, Wendy English. Yep. Just a ball full of shit you are. Wacko. Wacky tobacky. I'm going to give you a timeout. How about that? I'm going to time you out. She probably just repeated things she heard. So it has been confirmed. Yeah, Chris Watts was watching the kids. He was at home. 100%. He was not in New Orleans. It just, poor Cindy thought that Chris Miller was Chris Watts. And because you go to these Thrive conventions like once a year, some people don't even go to them that often. That was like the big one. And there's thousands of people there. And so she thought that she met, his name's Chris. Clearly other people thought that it must have been that leopard dress. Do you remember that? It must have been that leopard print. That must have been. Now let's talk about Karen. Karen's one of my favorites. Bless her heart. Karen does a little slippy poo too. I need to watch your whole thing on Chris Watts. Yeah, you do. Truth and transparency. How did you learn she canceled the appointments? I believe you. Oh, it's very simple. It's in the discovery. When the police went to interview, right here, a sailor. It's a report from the CBI, number 25. Officer Sailor from the CBI. I have everything just in. Okay. Officer Sailor went for a follow-up. And the report says as follows. On 8/15, CBI agent Matthew Sailor responded to Censure Health Physicians Group. That's where the 611 Mitchell Way. That's where I went. That's where NA went to do that fake drive-by. He was there to do a follow-up on the information he had received that Shanann had missed a doctor's appointment on 8/13. Upon arrival at approximately 11:45 in the morning, he had contacted Susie at the front desk. Susie confirmed that Watts had an appointment scheduled for 9:15 on 8/13, and that she did not arrive for that appointment. Susie advised me that the appointment was for standard gender and genetic testing with Dr. Stephanie. Susie explained that half of the clinic is dedicated to the general practice and the other half was dedicated to, other parts, other things. Susie then told Sailor, Susie told me that the appointment had been previously scheduled for 8/8 and 8/9. Susie said that the previous two appointments had been canceled and rescheduled by Shanann, as opposed to this appointment on 8/13, for which she did a no-call, no-show. That's how I found out that Shanann canceled the 8/8 and the 8/9 appointment. I motherfucking read this shit. I read. So I said, well, isn't that hot rockety diggy dog? Damn. You go to an elective because they're not going to tell you if anything's wrong with your baby. That's just simply like you go and I always say it's like a cosmetic thing. 4D. That's for like you to have that picture or whatever. But they're not telling you like anything about your baby. That's not what it's for. And it's money that you're paying for it. So you go to that, but you do not go to your regular OBGYN scheduled appointment to make sure that your baby is okay before you're going to get on another plane. When you just had issues supposedly in North Carolina that you were spotting. So when people want to say like, and I'm not like bashing anybody here. This is just these people when they talk and they say Shanann would never have done this and Shanann would never have done this. Shanann just canceled 2 doctor's appointments for no fucking reason. And she had Nicole Atkinson there. Or she just could have taken the girls with her. But there's no reason to cancel those doctor's appointments. Nicole Atkinson was there. And then you have to ask yourself this. Why didn't her friends ask her how her doctor's appointment was? You're acting like you knew about 8/13, about that appointment, but you didn't know that she had an appointment on 8/8 and 8/9. That actually is the reason that she had the 8/13 appointment, because it was never scheduled until it was like rescheduled. It was set for 8/8 and 8/9. So did you guys call her up and ask her how her doctor's appointment went after she was supposed to have it scheduled? No, because you guys didn't know about it. Just like you didn't know about the 8/13 one. The only reason you knew about the 8/13 one is because you saw her phone, because they called. So on the stand, you would ask, did you attempt to call or talk to Shanann? Did you know that she had a doctor's appointment on 8/8? No. You didn't know? Did you know that she had one on 8/9? No. So Shanann doesn't tell you everything. Did anybody know that she had the 8/8, the 8/9? What about Chris? Did he know? No. The only thing that she would ever talk about and made it seem like was that one that she went to at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night, 4D. She went to that, but on that day, she was supposed to go to her regular OBGYN. She doesn't go, but goes, and instead, she's literally texting. She's texting Addie Maloney. She's texting her friends. She's doing nothing. She did not go because she had something going on. She just didn't fucking go. And she can't say, I had the kids with me and I wasn't going to drag them there. No, you had Nicole Atkinson at that house. Nicole Atkinson was cutting the grass. But instead, actually, the one time you're taking a picture of the doll, that was during that time. The doll pic should have, you should have been at the doctor's. I pray that others go to prison. For sure, NK needs to be there. Okay. Again, I just deal with straight facts. I put it all out there. And then what I could just tell you is that none of these friends knew about her doctor's appointment because Shanann didn't tell them. So when you want to say Shanann wouldn't miss a doctor's appointment, yes, she would. She did it twice. Okay, don't want to do miss. She called instead of didn't call. But I still consider that missing. And I could see maybe why you would cancel or why you would reschedule Wednesday, because you literally just got back from the being gone and flying and you just landed on Tuesday. So I got to reschedule for Thursday, but you would definitely want to do that before you flew to Arizona. Make sure everything's good. I mean, maybe you shouldn't be flying, like, why on timeout I only asked the question? Well, because you know that I'm not going to court for Chris Watts. I mean, court for Chris Watts. I like it that this case won't go away with others still free. Yeah, so then check this out. So then let's just talk about what was going on in Arizona. Remember I was telling you guys, I'm telling you, everything went down in AZ. It was off the hook. Everything was coming out of the woodwork in Arizona. Everything. I mean, these girls were sleuthing like how we would. That's what was happening. And Graham Coder said it when he visited Chris in Wisconsin. So yeah, Watts obsession, that's going to be, it's a CBI report, Matthew Saylor. You know, it's just crazy to me that I think I was the only fucking person to read the Discovery. I swear. No offense to anybody, but like, it was just like, how are you covering a kid? I don't know. Just, if you want to know something, I would just read the fucker. Cindy. Tisk tisk. Let's talk about Karen though. Karen's a good one. Yes, didn't they obsess over the lazy dog menu? They obsessed over everything. They were on it. Staying focused. Love it. Yes, I always stay focused. Read this. How are you, Muslim man? Hoping you're doing well. It was popping in AZ. Yes. But Karen gives two different accounts too. Karen blows up her own spot as well. Let me get, her name's Karen Epps. And now this is the person that KK wanted you guys to believe that switched plane tickets after they went through security. KK thinks that this would go down, 2/11 or after 9/11. Here, you're going to go on that flight, and I'm going to go on this flight. And that Karen Barron was just fine with that. Like, let's break the fucking law together. That's a great idea. I said Karen's a liar. Okay, not a criminal. Where's Karen? Come out, wherever you are. Oh, Charlotte, remember her? Kelly Burke, that's a good interview. Oh, Cindy Dorsett sent Thrive products to CBI for analysis and lab. Cindy Dorsett. Oh wait, follow up with. Oh my God, about the alcohol. Cindy Dorsett talked to them 5 times, not 3, 5. Come on, Karen Epps. Okay, here she is. God, I used to know all this stuff like the back of my hand. I used to know the numbers and everything. You guys remember the report of the blind woman? If you guys, did you guys know there was a anonymous tip from a blind woman that was in Discovery? I came across it. I'm gonna have to tell you guys it though because it's really good. Okay. I felt so bad for this person. Okay. Before we get to Karen Epps, on August 27th, August 19th, at approximately 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. The Frederick Police Department received 4 emails from familyheating@aol.com. The emails were sent to the department's email address, frederickpolice@frederickco.gov. I reviewed the narrative of the first email, and it reads exactly as follows. Quote unquote, I don't know her will helpful, but my ex-caregiver husband works for a company she calls ASCO. I can only assume it's the company Chris Watts worked for. She said she was having an on and off again with one of the guys that was dismissed, and her husband was up for his job. She is very promiscuous, and that's not out of character. She said a guy named Chris she had been talking to coming back this way back in May. They spoke through the Calculator private message app of phones. This is how, I'll get to it. She said he was married and had 2 kids. She wasn't looking for anything serious, but most of these men with her, she also talked to them on Facebook, but mostly the hidden text app. This may be the affair that is said that be something you may want to check out. Heidi Ferris lives in Falcon, Colorado, but is slept with by her own account half the company. Heidi Ferris, she's slut. Heidi Ferris has slept with half the company and used to work there. She also has been with Brandy, the utility worker and tattoo artist, and many others. But when I saw this and that he worked for ASCO, as they call it, I knew I needed to say something. It's worth a check. She may be now have erased any messages, but if you have his phone, I check for the app. It's a calculator, but if you put a special code in, it becomes a text app. Good luck, and may this poor family rest in peace. Email number 1. Email number 2. The email is hard to read, and at times does not make sense. Additionally, there was no contact info, no name, phone number, nothing. Just an hour and a half later, a second email. Sorry, I'm partially blind. My typing skills are horrible. Hope you get the gist. The end. Wait, 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 what? Sorry, I'm partially blind. My typing skills are horrible. Hope you get the gist. Heidi Ferris lives in Falcon, Colorado, but has slept with, by her own account, half the company. And she used to work there. She's also been seen with Randy, the utility worker and tattoo artist, and many others. Heidi Ferris, hit me in the DMs, baby. Then another email comes in. Following two emails show a shape shot of contact information for a Dan Ferris, superintendent of ASCO, and also the contact information for ASCO, a pipe and fabrication company that appears to be a subcontractor for Anadarko. I printed out hard copies of the emails and placed them in the case file. So then I got to thinking. I was like, this email was this anonymous tip, whatever they want to call it. I was like, this was meant for them to look at Chris's phone up for the calculator app. That's what this was about. Now, remember what I said if you were watching? I think I said it in my after party. When I said that somebody had logged in to Chris's calculator but didn't do anything, and he never just logged in. The only time he would go into that app would be to, because he was transferring pictures, because there was never any other, anytime that they talked about the secret calculator app, it was to do something. But on that Thursday before Shanann left to go to Arizona, there was movement in the calculator app, a login entry, an attempted login, something like that. It was an attempt that they may have got in. And then you're going to tell me that, just think about this. What are the odds that Chris really was using a calculator app, and that this woman on August 19th emails in talking about this, but the main focus of this really it's about the calculator app. Now, do you think this was anonymous, or do you think that somebody was telling authorities to look for that app? Like, why didn't they say Snapchat or there's a bunch of stupid crap. Vanish mode, no. That this to me was off the rocker for a reason, but it clearly made the cut to be in a report. And they couldn't redact out Heidi Ferris. Come on, man. Why does Heidi Ferris have to be known to be a whore? That's not cool. Heidi Ferris is probably a really giving human being. According to this email. Hope you got the gist. Sorry, I'm partially blind. My typing skills are horrible. If you're partially blind, how do you know about a calculator app? What? Yeah, so this, would love to know the IP address that this came from, because that wasn't anonymous. That was all for them. This was all about for them to know the calculator app. Because you have to know to search that. They had to get a special, and they hadn't gotten it at the time when they did the extraction. That's not available. You have to get a warrant for all that. It's a totally separate thing. And I'm telling you, the gang unit wouldn't know shit about a hidden calculator app. Poor Heidi. I hope her hubby didn't read the discovery. I hope he doesn't watch my channel. Her name is, Heidi Ferris. Falcon, Colorado. But then this person went as far as, I mean, Dan Ferris, superintendent of ASCO, and sent screenshots, a shape shot. Like, who wrote this? No discovery info. Yeah, I don't know how people read the discovery info. I printed everything out, all pages. You guys know that the McDonald's had surveillance and they just didn't get it fast enough. It only holds for 2 weeks. It's like, we're talking about missing people. This wasn't a homicide right away. How are you fucking up surveillance in like the first days, like Monday, Tuesday? I mean, Chris didn't tell anything until, later on Wednesday. So how do you not go back to McDonald's and do what you're supposed to do and get this surveillance? They didn't get anything from 8, 13, 14, or 15 because they don't have a surveillance system. It was just DVR. And it only every 2 weeks it gets like you're going to have it for 2 weeks. That's it. Because it gets copied over. I mean, talk about just a phenomenal department, man. Like, how surveillance works. And this was a missing persons, multiple people missing. Surveillance is going to be everything in the beginning, and then down the road, it just. I wonder what they're doing. I want to know who's teaching these classes when they have to go to the bureau and do these classes. Now, Karen, come out of the woodwork. Yes. Poor Heidi Ferris. I printed out too, and that's the only way to lay it all out. Yeah. No footage from the Colorado Dodging Christmas drive to Survey. Why, right? They may have that. Nate verbally pointed to Chris. Or verbally pointed to Chris. Sandy, run, perfect run. Now, okay, so something that was interesting to me because I pay attention to words. And this was the first report. This is the initial report from Conrad when he wrote this. I typed it up. I checked with the neighbors to see if anyone observed someone coming or going. Nate, neighbor to the east, showed me his home surveillance video. At 1:48 hours, Nicole's vehicle is observed leaving. And he says it, Nicole's vehicle is observed leaving. He doesn't say like Nicole's leaving. Her vehicle is observed leaving. The video does not show it arriving. At 5:27, Chris's truck is observed being backed into the driveway. Nate and Nicole both stated they had never seen him back into the driveway before. When the fuck would Nicole see that? Was she just hanging out at the Watsons? Did she slumber party before? Did she sleep over? Or they just mean in general? It leaves a short time later. The rear of the truck was obscured from the camera by the garage. The video shows no other vehicles coming or going. after 5:27. Wait, what? Never stood, never put your car in the driveway, Nicole Atkinson. Never stood on the um, the roof of the car. But how about when she comes back from the doctor's appointment, or like to go to the hospital or the doctor's office, and then she actually pulls her vehicle, so it's like chilling there while she's waiting for the police to get there. How is that not on camera? And then when the police get there, like there's obviously people are walking and stuff like this. It's fucking deleted. That's why. All of it. Christopher gave us consent to check Shanann's phone. This is where I got the 1242 right here. Chris gave us consent to check Shanann's phone. It had an alert which stated the garage door was opened at 12:42. The garage door was opened at 12:42. Their alerts don't tell you when the garage closes. It only tells you when it's opened, and then it will notify you after 10 minutes if it does not close. It'll say garage door alert, not closed. So that's how I saw the 12:42, and added that to the timeline because they don't. And what was awesome about that is that Shanann's phone had that in there. You know why? Do you know why Shanann's phone had that in there at that time? Because Shanann's phone was on at that time. So it registered that because what were they doing? They opened up that garage from the inside to that was going to be the way they were leaving. Why would the garage be open at 12:42? It had an alert which stated the garage door was open at 12:42. Because they were coming out and they were going to jump over. Like, they opened it because that was going to be their way out, and they were going to jump over. And Nicholas says it in his interview. He's like, yeah, I mean, the only way that you can get out of there, because everything's bundled up, locked up, the only way that you can get out of there is if you hit the garage, door, and then you jumped over the. So, I mean, you got to remember he's 16 at the time. Is that the only way out, Nick? No, you can go out the basement, all those basement windows, just like Chris was doing when Shanann was gone. It set an alarm at about the time stating he left the garage door open. Chris told me that at least 3 times, which I thought was unusual. Shanann's phone showed an alert at 12:42 hours for the garage door, which is the only way someone could leave the residence. So that was that. Now Karen. Where are you, Care Bear? Oh, here we go. Addie said the only person in Colorado that knew of the marriage problems was Nikki. Most of Shanann's friends are through the business. Addie said Shanann would go on play dates and mentioned Amanda there, who used to be the director at the school. A female by the name of Karen they work with was also in Arizona and lives in Colorado, but they didn't discuss Chris with Arizona. I think they meant to say with Karen. It was just a typo. So Addie is being interviewed. This is the first supplemental report the day of this on that Monday the 13th. Okay, I looked at the remember I told you guys I paid really good attention to like the notes that they're writing, like their actual handwritten notes. And this dude was taking his notes, and he writes dinner Sunday night, known the couple. You can't really tell like what this says, but ends May/April in New Orleans. So that was Cindy's. So like this guy, he didn't. It wasn't a typo. He wrote it here about knowing how long she's known Shanann, but then also in his little scribble up notes, it was about it says right here COUPLE couple. So it wasn't a typo that he just typed up the report, and she's like, I never said couple. I said I saw her there. No, his handwritten notes said couple. So that I confirmed that it wasn't a typo then. So again, Cindy's saying that she saw them as a couple in New Orleans, Chris and her. Molson Man, have a good night. Love ya. Great show. Can't believe he said that. She wouldn't know that. They just are talking out of their ass. Let's get to Karen though. So remember, like Addie says that they didn't talk to Karen in Arizona about anything. So Karen gets interviewed though. And Karen feels differently. Where you at, Care Bear? 47. That was about the drinking. Okay. 107. Damn. I don't know if this goes back that far. Put all these in there. Damn it, Karen, where are you? I want Karen's report. Oh, I didn't realize I had these in here. Damn it. No, I have to. Did the CBI interview Karen? Oh, maybe he did actually. I think the CBI did way better with their interviews anyways. Damn it, Karen, where are you? I can't find Karen. Karen. Fuck Karen. Oh. Might have a winner. 62. 62. Damn. Where's all this shit? Oh, there are 2 books for this? Got her. Karen. Okay, Karen stated she was with Shanann in Arizona during the Thrive Conference on August 10th to the 12th. Karen said that Shanann said she wasn't feeling good in general. Karen said Shanann told her she was having issues with Chris Watts. And she added that the pregnancy was making her feel bad. Karen said she had been speaking with Shanann on the phone when Shanann was in North Carolina. During this time, Shanann complained that she was feeling dehydrated, and Shanann was vomiting because of dehydration. So all you motherfuckers want to talk about X and people being sick, lies. Just not true. Karen proceeds to say, Karen said she never saw Shanann drink any alcohol while she was with Shanann in Arizona. Karen said she couldn't remember a time when she had actually seen Shanann drink any alcohol. Karen said she has known Shanann for over a year. Well. I thought Addie said that they didn't talk to Karen about. So who's lying? Karen also called and said that because her kids went to Primrose, and that she hadn't seen, when she dropped off, that Bella wasn't there or something. Again, Cassie said that Shanann seemed depressed. Cassie explained and said Shanann had been talking to her almost every day while Shanann was in North Carolina, which I proved completely false after the 17th of July. Like they didn't talk every single day. That's not what happened at all. They talked when shit was going down. And Shanann had expressed concern about the way Chris was acting towards her. Cassie also said Shanann was not feeling well because of the pregnancy, and she was also extremely busy with her Thrive business. What? Cassie said Shanann was not eating very well either. Cassie said she had never saw Shanann drinking any alcohol while she was with Shanann in Arizona. Cassie said there was no way Shanann would drink alcohol while she was pregnant. Cassie said Shanann was not much of a drinker anyway. Well, Facebook videos would prove otherwise. Cassie said if Shanann ever did drink, it would be a glass of wine. Cassie said that Shanann told her that if she did drink alcohol, it would cause a flare-up of Shanann's lupus. And Cassie said that she has known Shanann for more than 2 years, and she has never seen Shanann drunk or even slightly intoxicated. And then my follow-up question was this: well, how often was she in your presence outside of these Thrive trips? Here's Cindy again. None of these people don't. You see somebody 4 times a year, once a year, 4 times. How do you know that? You don't know them. Cindy said Shanann was not much of a drinker, and she always wanted to be an attentive mom, so she didn't want to be so impaired that she couldn't take care of her kids. Cindy added that because Shanann was pregnant, there was no way Shanann had anything to drink, and 100% would not put that child in danger by drinking. Then how do you guys all feel that she didn't go to her doctor's appointment? Cindy said Shanann might have 1 drink in a social setting, and if Shanann were to drink, it would have been a glass of wine. Cindy said that she and all of their friends did raise a lemon drop drink to honor Shanann at Shanann's funeral, because that would have been a drink that Shanann would have liked. But I thought she didn't drink. These people make no sense. So Christina Meacham. Christina also said that she'd been on a few business trips with Shanann for her Thrive business. Christina said, alcohol consumption is not part of the Thrive healthy living lifestyle that Shanann was following. Did you guys see the way they were eating on these Thrive trips? And they most certainly were drinking. It's not part of the Thrive healthy lifestyle, living lifestyle. Putting on those patches though is so healthy. Ridiculous. Thrive's the problem. Greg Zitna did this interview. He's been on October 3rd. Why are you calling and asking about Shanann's alcohol consumption? Oh, because the BAC levels, that's right. The ones that you guys said that were from decomposition, which is like that would have got blown up in court. 100%. Okay. Cindy's caught another lie. Ready? Cindy stated that she was with Shanann in Arizona during the Thrive conference on August 10th through 12th. Cindy said she was in charge of the event in Arizona, so she did not have the opportunity to spend much time with Shanann. It's better. Cindy said she did have dinner with Shanann on Friday, August 10th, 2018. No, you didn't. Shanann was getting text message from Addie Maloney saying, "Where are you?" And that's when Shanann said, that she didn't wake up. And she was in her hotel room. And she's like, "Oh, I thought we were meeting up later." Cindy and Addie and then went to dinner on Friday night. Shanann didn't make it. She didn't make it to dinner. It's in the text messages. Cindy said she did not see Shanann drinking any alcohol during this dinner. Okay. Because she wasn't at that dinner. But Cindy said Shanann seemed like she was not her normal self during the weekend. But I thought you barely saw her because you were running the event. Like, right? Cindy said she was in charge of the event in Arizona, so she did not have the opportunity to spend much time with Shanann. Period. But she's telling us that she did not seem like her normal self during the weekend. She said that Shanann appeared to be defeated. Cindy said Shanann appeared to be devastated and that Shanann was possibly losing her marriage. And now that all came out, like, where is that other mind-blowing statement? Oh, Karen's and Cindy's, and how about Christopher Miller, man? Yeah, I was with the couple in New Orleans at the convention, April or May, Oh, okay. But I've never met Chris Watts before. But he's really calm and he's really calm and passive. Sounds good, Cindy. Cindy was like, "Oh shit, he wasn't." Do you guys know that Taylor Welch was a person of interest in this case? Taylor Welch was the babysitter. What? Taylor Welch? I was like, what is Taylor doing? Taylor. Angie, someone trying to get in touch with me? Angie Erickson. Oh, what do we got to talk about? Hopefully it's good. Is it good stuff? Ooh, do you want to testify for me? Yeah, just mind-blowing shit, huh? I'm just a mind fuck. How's everybody doing tonight? Just let me soothe you with my voice while you sleep. Just talk about Chris Watts in your ear. Go, girl. Cindy just got blindsided. The fuck? Interesting about the sitter. I like your theories. They're not really theories. It's just straight from these people's mouths. Straight from these reports. You just got to put them all on a timeline, and you can see who's lying and why they're lying. Just pure fuckerage. Karen. Oh, I can also show you that Chris didn't want baby, want separation. Saturday night baseball game. Buddies, salmon, and a beer. Salmon and a beer. Remember? Wait, but I thought those other people said it was a burger and a beer. Like, get your shit straight. It seemed like a lot. And then they're adamant about this Westminster Rusty Bucket. And something 2 hours later. Rocky's game. Pregnant. Nauseous. 4 months. What the hell is this? Jeremy. Scheduled life rain machine. She had a scheduled life rain machine. Kids take medicine. Once every few months, Chris something has with kids. Talks to mom. Cindy from LaBelle. 9 p.m. Nikki and Shanann from Addie from Nikki. Thursday. Husband distant. Nikki, Addie, Cindy, Shanann getting annoyed with her recently. Where she said something about like cheating. I found it and I was like losing my shit. I think there should be a trial for all murders. Please take that down, Lana. No name, very important. What? Please take what? What are you talking about? Please take that down. What? Are you okay, Angie? Can I send you a link so we can chat? You want to chat on the live? I hope you're okay. Oh, in private. Um, okay. Is time of the essence? Is it really important? Do you want me to end this live? Because lives matter. Not lives, but you know what I'm talking about. I mean, Chris Watts can wait. Just going through my binders, guys. Studying for my big test. Oh, okay, this is great. Addie believed that Nikki was going to watch the kids while they were gone, but wasn't sure. How does tomorrow talk? Okay. How does Addie not know that Amanda Thayer is going to watch the kids? Why would she think Nicole Atkinson's going to watch the kids when Nicole works? I mean, what do you mean? Weird. No problem. Then I can go on searching for my my cheating comment. Okay. Who's writing this? Who's saying this? Okay, Addie. Addie says that Chris went out the front door. Girls are light sleepers. Open garage early in the morning. It's a no-go. Chris went out front door. Car outside garage. She will not leave like that. Hard to imagine Chris hurting girls. Attention, caring, kids, and marriage problems. Deleted Facebook. Plans, everything. Never leave like that. Kids, marriage problems. Eddie, things not good between her and Chris. Sunday evening, concerned he was having an affair. Sunday evening. It either says Sunday or I'll show you the support. Wait, what? What email? What the heck are you talking about? That's not the email. That's not the email. That's not the email, Boston. It's just truth, transparency with the number 3. No, Angie, that's not the email. Hopefully Angie didn't leave. But right here, Addie said, that looks like sun. Sunday evening, concerned he was having affair. So I'm going to show you this. But why wouldn't the dude type it up in his report? But I caught it. I caught it. I'll show it to you guys. I use this. Okay. Right here. I'm going to go like this. Like this. Sunday evening, concerned he was having affair. What's that say? Nick, Cindy, Nikki. Nikki, Cindy. That's Cindy Dorset. Nikki is Nicole Atkinson. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's it right there. Truth, transparency, 3. Yeah. But right here. So Shanann concerned he's having an affair because they all went in sleuth mode. He didn't want baby, canceled gender reveal party. He was not wanting baby. 2 weeks ago, text string. Text what? What's that word? I'm telling you, Addie gives it all up. 2 weeks ago, text string. Isn't that text messages? Him cheating. Him cheating. You see that? Sunday night sad. Something found. Leaked. Something was found. Him cheating. Sunday SUN sun night sad. Leaked. I believe it was they found something like that's how they found that he was cheating. Went to Rocky's game with group of guys out late. Shanann, like that's something. Shanann was talking to with babysitter. Got food. He salmon. Dinner bill 62. He told her what he spent. He's something. He's been deleting. He's been deleted ever text with dad. That with Day. Like I think that's with dad. Oh, she thought that he was deleting his text messages with his dad. Falling out with his parents in North Carolina. Chris mom exposed to tree nut allergy. Didn't come to Cece's last birthday. Dad is Chris plus Shanann felt Chris felt she problem with dad. Said she leaked. Where was that at? But point is, as I said, that in Arizona, they knew that he was cheating. Text messages 2 weeks ago. Text. Chris deleted his Facebook Thursday. And see, how did she know that? Because they talked about it. He seemed to come around once he found the baby was going to be a boy. Chris is part of her social media for her business. He needed a break from it. Friends with them for about 3 years. She's part of the team company. Huge shock. Things weren't okay between them. Chris, they just don't communicate well anymore. Chris wouldn't say what was wrong with relationship. Anxious to get home, he was coming around prior to her coming to Arizona. So she was looking forward to getting back home because he was coming around prior to going to Arizona. What are you talking about? You just said right here they just caught and he's cheating. Okay. Nikki going watch kids. Nikki gonna watch kids. She never would have left medicine, phone, car seats. Best mom she knows. Most organized, planning everything. He's always been a great dad. The only local person confided in was Nikki. Most of her friends through business. Friend Amanda, the director at the school, playdates. Karen lives in Colorado but didn't discuss Chris in Arizona. Lies. Chris told him number posted and house. Chris told it's about the neighbor. Chris told him the neighbor has security camera pointed at house. And then what I did is I then compared when this guy wrote it up, because those are his notes, And then I said, well, why is no one talking about the fact that they were having an affair, like they was cheating? Off-screen Rod pressed the garage door opener that is attached to the wall to see how long it would take for the garage to close. There was enough time for someone to press the button from the inside the garage and run out the garage onto the driveway. But why was he even thinking about that? Because Nick told him that. He said the debit cards were the same account. He didn't know how many cards she had. Oh boy. Yeah. So Chris about not feeling well in Arizona. My husband tells My friend tells me she thinks her husband is cheating. I'm all over it. I solved who my one friend's husband was cheating with. Yeah, hell yeah. You get it, girl. But I found that in the writings. And you guys, there's, if I can pull it up to show, okay. Why does everybody think that they were at the Rusty Bucket? Well, I went and looked. I'll tell you why. Because he did go, his thing was, so I think that they were searching. Then I think she went all like, all right, I'm going to look at my, credit card statements and everything. And, but he went to the Rusty Bucket, but just not that time. But they probably, when they started looking through stuff, found stuff. And then it just, and then somebody said, ask Nicole Atkinson. She knows the name of wherever they were. Why would she know? Oh, I'm tired. Go to bed. I asked Christopher if Shanann usually goes out on hikes, and Christopher stated, "We've never been on a hike." Okay, I'm going to give you guys a bombshell, and then I'm going to bed. Remember how Nicole Atkinson and her son said that they were trying to get in that house for like 40 minutes, and they were walking around trying to get in? Okay. Ready? Do you remember how she says, oh my God, Shanann's, shoes are at the door, her favorite flip-flops. Like, she knows about these flip-flops, right? Well, if she was walking around the house and trying to get in, which I don't believe she was at all, wouldn't she make this comment? Chris advised the most recent pair of shoes that Bella and Celeste wore were from a pool party that they went to on Saturday, 8/11. Chris advised that Bella and Celeste wore the shoes home from the pool party. The shoes were located just outside the back patio on a chair. So Bella and Celeste's shoes are on a chair out in the back on the deck. Does Nicole Atkinson ever say, yeah, her favorite shoes are right there, and then the kids' shoes are on the deck? No, she doesn't say anything like that. Those are the shoes that the kids wear. So, what shoes do they have on? No, it's because you never went back there. You weren't trying to get in that house. You were in the house. You would know everything inside and out. That was never given. You would have said that. The kids' shoes are outside in the back on that deck. Her shoes are right by the door. Those are the shoes that the kids wear all the time. Nicole Atkinson was in that house. She didn't need to go looking around the house. She was in the house because she just got in there. Whether she got in there in the morning, super early, or whether she slept over there, she was there. And It's really interesting. The dog searches. Christopher's work truck was parked just northeast in front of the house on the north side of the street, facing west. One of the dogs was taken to the work truck, and Jane advised the dog showed interest in the truck. Jane said the dog did not alert for any human remains inside the vehicle, but the dog caught the scent of one of the 3 missing parties. If you're looking for your friend and you're trying to like get into a house and figure stuff out, the 2 kids' shoes were right there. They were just sitting right there in the chair. Like, and actually go look at the body cam and see, you can see them. You're paying attention to everything at that point, but you don't think that's important because that's not important to you. Now go watch the body cam, and I'm almost positive that they don't open up the truck though to let this dog go in there. They just have the dog around the truck. They don't open up the truck. I didn't pay too much attention to that part of it, but I was requested to retrieve video surveillance from McDonald's and Home Depot. The manager of the McDonald's stated only a supervisor has access to the video surveillance, and a supervisor will not be in until 1900 hours. A flash drive was left with the manager upon arriving at the Home Depot. Well, then they did a follow-up. So I just left you a flash drive. Oh, just bring it by the police. No, we'll be back for it. Like, drops off a flash drive. Okay, here you go. No, you'll just go back at 1900 hours. That's what you're going to do. Either way, you slice and dice it, you have to be back. Or do you want them to bring that by the police station? The manager stated he would have requested video to the store. Stupid fucks. Did Chris Watts ever say why he went into the car prior to... Yeah, it was to look for the car, the garage door opener. And it was, there was one clipped to the side passenger's part. And, I thought it was weird that I'd be on the passenger side. But that's what you do when you're lazy. The other thing I thought was weird is, okay, if I'm having somebody watch my house, why would I give them my code to my house? Why wouldn't I just give them my garage door opener? Why would I want them to have a code to my house? Like, would you want, I mean, friends or not friends, like, I still don't think I want people to have my code. Oh, and by the way, this is Perez's report. He was an officer. So it's just like, while he was there, this is the report that he gave of, this was not from the canine report. This is just his report. And then what you'd want to do is compare it to, the canine report. So this is Perez, like he was just there at the house. They wanted Chris to be outside of the house when they brought the dogs in. Again, remember Chris just gave them consent. Chris said you guys could do whatever you want. Have at it. This is the handwritten notes from, this is a like a psychic person, and this was on, what day was this? We put a date on here. It was early on. This medium said that dispute between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Triangle situation affair. Learn towards Chris seeing someone being jealous. No intent to harm. Strangled Shanann. Girls suffocated afterwards. Described feeling in bag or underwater. Moved in truck. No bloodshed. Driven to deep wooded section not far from home. Lake near woods, deep wooded, difficult to find. Issues at home related to too much time spent working. Didn't sit well with Chris. Vision each girl wrapped in blankets after suffocating. Bodies not far from home. This is from Massachusetts. It was a wishes to remain nameless. Don't mention. Again, these are all, like I said, these are like the just written, handwritten notes. The handwritten notes are great. This is when he finds the. Oh, okay. So this is what they did with Taylor. So stupid. Taylor stated that she's a friend of Shanann and the family. Taylor advised me she occasionally babysat for Cece and Bella, and that she was a good friend of Shanann. Taylor stated she was helping plan a gender reveal party for Shanann's unborn baby. The party was scheduled to be on 8/19/2018. Both are going to Aspen, though, but there's a gender reveal. Taylor stated Nikki informed her on 8/8/2018 that the gender reveal party would need to be canceled. Taylor stated she initiated a text conversation with Shanann regarding the cancellation of the party. Taylor thought the text conversation may be relevant to the case. Taylor said, Nikki just told me you want to cancel the gender reveal. What's going on? Is everything okay? Shanann said, Chris said we are not compatible anymore. Taylor said, I just landed in Chicago, like still on the plane. Taylor then said, oh my God, what? Shanann said, he said we are not compatible anymore. He's refusing to hug me. Said he thought another baby would fix his feelings. Said he refused couples counseling. Shan then says, before I left, he couldn't get enough of each other. Taylor, what the hell changed in 6 weeks? Shanann, he said he had a lot of time to think. Taylor says, I'm so sorry. Taylor, I don't even know what to say. Shanann, girl, me either. Taylor, we will get together when I get home. Shanann said, I've cried myself to sleep over a week now. Shanann, okay, honey. Shanann, have a great time. Taylor said, I'm here for you and whatever you need. Taylor said, I love you. Then Shanann said, love you more. Thank you, love. The following is a reproduction of the text conversation that began on 8/9. Shanann then says to Taylor, next Friday, I think the 17th, could you help with the kids for a few hours? Taylor says, I have to work both of my jobs. I'm sorry, what's going on? We are trying to leave for the weekend. Friend who's staying for the weekend can't be here till after 7. Oh, sorry, I work 7 a.m. to 9:30. Taylor then said, you and Chris? The text thread ended with the following text that appeared to be on 8/13. And so basically, Shanann, Taylor could watch the kids for a couple hours because the friend who's staying the weekend can't be here until 7, right? And she says that she has to work. And then she's like, wait, you and Chris? Like, I thought you and Chris were going? Amanda Thayer could be there at 6, not 7, 6. So she basically wanted Taylor to come over prior to Amanda Thayer getting there, right? And I said, why? Because it was originally said when she asked Amanda, oh, can you watch, can you do it like Friday or Saturday, which day? And now all of a sudden you're needing to leave way early in the afternoon on Friday? Or is it, do you plan on wanting to catch Chris after work doing something? And you need to be at Anadarko, like around 3 when he gets off work, 3:30, whatever time he gets off work. But immediately when she says that she has to work and she's no longer useful to Shanann, she doesn't even bother texting. Hey, Gypsy, what's up? No, this is not Lindstrom's daughter. This is her, like, older friend. How many gender reveal planners were there and how many times was it canceled and then back on? Yeah. But how is this a weird text conversation? Why would a police officer deem this text conversation weird? And then the last thing that she wrote was the day that everybody was missing. She said, are you and the girls okay? And then obviously no one responded back to that. But Nikki, gender reveal party planned for Sunday. And then it was canceled. McKenna, yep. That's because they were lied to. They didn't know what was going on. And I love my notes where it says on to the next. As soon as she asked her, and she said that she couldn't work, but then she says you and Chris, like she's shocked. She's like, wait, you and Chris are going to Aspen? I thought you guys were like divorcing, 8/15/2018, Sandra, mom of Shanann, called to advise that Shanann and Chris had court coming up on the 24th in Weld County, and it was family matter. I believe that was the HOA. On 8/15/2018, the family friend Sarah, I call her Sarah Nude, called to inform that gender party of Shanann and Chris was canceled recently. 8/15, Cindy Dorsett, friend of Shanann, said to check the trash cans for Thrive wrappers at house. If there are none, then that would indicate that Shanann had not been at the house because Shanann used it every day religiously. But so did Chris. Okay. Debbie Moore from Minnesota also received strange emails stating that someone from People magazine want info on the case. Debbie has no affiliation of the matter. No callback requested. Debbie Moore's a liar. I looked that up. Debbie Moore most certainly knew who Shanann was. I'll just leave it as that. Got all these info from Sarah. Generator canceled. Kyle. 12 hours after. Debbie Moore, Minnesota. Lies. Contact relief from the suspect vehicle that registered back to a maroon Pontiac Grand Am. See how you see there's 3 here. Why? What's missing? They took this out of Discovery and they didn't want us to know what was on this posted, because you would never put this like this and then just put one here and here. You just put one here and here. So they took one out before they put this in Discovery. Bunch of bastards, cheaters. Guys, I truly don't think that people were lying. None of these people knew them like they claimed they did. Cindy, you probably saw Shanann 3 times. And if you tell me something and then a police officer says, hey, so have you talked to Boston? Yeah. What'd she say? And I just repeat what you said, but it's totally not the truth because you lied to me. So then it seems like I'm lying. That's what was going on. People were being told everything was fickle. It was all over the place. And the only person that was making it all over the place really was Shanann, because Chris wasn't like, okay, I want to be with you. Okay, no, I don't. Okay, I do. No, I don't. Like, that wasn't what was happening. And you could tell from the text messages. But she was just telling her friends whatever the hell she wanted. And I think it was to save face. But, maybe, or it was to sad fish, ask for help. I don't know. But if you see them conversing, I just don't think he wanted to hurt her feelings. I think he loved her. He just wasn't in love anymore. Happens a lot. Where are those notes? Marital problems, what? Oh yeah, this is the good stuff. Okay, check this out. When I was doing my note taking here, you see right here, let me just go like this so you can see it better. Okay. You see how that's whited out. You see that right there? It's a white out. See? See that right there? White out. White out. You see? Now, why in the world would you have to white out who was in charge of getting the Vivint warrants? See how it says Steve Vehicle Warrants. CBI is doing the family interviews. The FBI Anadarko warrants. Why can't they tell us who was in charge of getting the Vivint warrants? Why does that have to be such a secret? That's just one thing. This is Dacano, DPD, delete Cellbrite report and do supplement. Why would you ever tell them to delete Cellbrite, delete the Cellbrite report and do a supplement? What? Why are you deleting shit? Deleted or whited out. That's all they did was white out this isn't how you redact. How you redact is you put a dolls or does it show when he or she phone was shut off? Notes. I mean, I went through all this stuff. These are the names of police officers. Right here, Nikki Kessinger. What do you guys think that says? 20 Geo. Does that say GF as in girlfriend? Matt Saylor, McCoy, Wiggins. This is Kirby stuff. No dates. This is they did that. Where's the one where he was rating? Vivint Video System Info 40. Status. What's the status on this? House and neighbor. What's the status? Oh, you guys fucked it up. The neighbor. House and neighbor. Mother of Shanann called Willie once luggage upstairs search has been untouched since trip. How would she know this? She wasn't even in town. How would she know that? Okay, so I highlighted this because on August 29th, that's when he submitted the 44 pages of handwritten notes, scrap paper with notes and other investigative documents to evidence supervisor Purcell. That's what this was. And so it was Officer Egan was the command post guy. So 9 o'clock on Tuesday, he established an incident command room at the police department and began to gather and coordinate resources. I continued coordination throughout the investigation and worked with assisting agencies. The incident command room was operational until Friday afternoon on August 17th. So these notes and everything, they're from Tuesday to Friday. There was one, this was the time frame he wanted. Documents obtained so far in the investigation provide an estimated beginning of an intimate relationship evidenced by written communications. I don't know what that is, but see right here, they whited that out. That's whited out. Christopher Watts and Nicole Kessinger on or about June 8th, 2018, as a your evident is seeing I don't know what that says. Oh, production of records. You're they want seeking a production of records within a reasonable time span of approximately 2 weeks prior to said date, which would be on May 25th, 2018, until she verified date of recovery of, I don't know what that is. Oh, bodies on August 15th, 2018. His work phone, his personal phone, 16-330.1.1p. So that was about Nicole Kessinger. Does a judge have to look at the discovery and sign off? They must have clerks. How in good conscience would anyone sign off on this, even though he pled out? The judge still has to accept the plea. Yeah, the judge has to accept the plea. The judge didn't see any of this. None of this discovery. Security, neighbor video, work laptop, lazy dog, his wallet, book, hold me tight. $11 plus 6, 17, minus 8 equals 9. Oh, glad that we need to do that math. Verizon, Infinity. Vehicle search warrant. Tuesday, vehicle search. Shovel. You see this? That shovel is nowhere to be found. That shovel, and it's in a report. Black trash bags, blankets, stuffed animals, work boots. But this shovel, Nope. Vivint video. Dave at house. Get neighbor's code to get into. Nikki, May. Primrose Daycare, McCoy. Sunday, 5:07. Text to Chris to Cody Roberts. Something trip to 319 site. Yeah. Wait, where's that one? Protection order. April, July 4th, July 22nd. Terry Pate fiance. I think that has nothing to do with this case. Like Deshaun Brown and what? White vans are asking questions about trail with map. How is this? Who even knows? This isn't their stuff though. Right here, Christopher advised the most recent pair of shoes that Belle and Celeste wore were from a pool party they went to on Saturday. Chris said that they wore the shoes home. The shoes were located just outside the back patio on a chair. And that's where they were. They took a scent sample from the shoes that belonged to Belle and Celeste. And then they took the scent sample from the sandals. And once again, those were just sitting out there. There was never any talk about Nicole Atkinson. You know, there took her and Nick 40 minutes. They were trying to get into this house. And they're looking around and nobody's saying anything like about the kids. And the girls' shoes are out back and those are their shoes that they wear. You know, just deputy inquired about the little girl's shoes on the back porch. Chris said the girls wore them to a pool party and the shoes had been wet, so he put them out to dry. During the conversation, Chris mentioned that he had made the girls' beds that morning and had done laundry. He said that he had a hard time sleeping and he is so used to little girls throwing chicken nuggets at him and the other one sitting in the high chair. Chris was asked about Shanann's car and if she drove it to the airport, and he said no. Nikki dropped her off. It's the white car out front. This was because Nikki was the one that called the reporters. He asked if she drives. It's stating the white car in the driveway. No. He was asked if his wife has a car. He is pointing to the garage. Said yes. See right here, Jane said the dog detected but gave no hard command. However, the dog did not enter the vehicle and the doors to the vehicle remained closed. Why? If you have dogs there, why aren't you opening the door? What are you talking about? Prior to beginning the search, Chris was asked to step outside, so there was no interference with the dogs. Deputy Perez remained with him, and the front door remained open. So Perez was there and Catherine Lines was there. I read you guys Perez's before, but right here, she says, As we moved to the home, Jane explained what type of scent the dogs alert to. Jane mentioned several times that the dogs alert to areas where there may have been some sort of trauma or struggle, such as an argument, explaining that scent from people, pools, and collected areas. The dog did not locate any human remains. The search continued from the neighborhood clubhouse west and then north, circling back to the home without success. Jane's dog was later taken to Chris's work truck, which was parked just east of his home. Jane stated that the dog detected but gave no hard command. However, the dog did not enter the vehicle, and the doors to the vehicle remained closed. Wait. Why wouldn't the dogs go in his work vehicle? I mean, what? Doesn't make any sense. While in the home, a track dog was traced. Jeff stated that his dog showed interest in the unmade bed in the basement and an area just below the stairs, but did not do any final trained alerts. No indicators were noted in the garage. Now that is just crazy to me. These dogs aren't too hot, are they? Shanann's body was laying in the garage. If you guys want to talk about what Chris has ever said, Shanann's mom was laying in the garage. Where do you think her body was when he walked out to grab the truck and to back it up? Oh. Juanita. What is that? All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna wrap that up. Another 3 hours down Watts Island. Never gonna get back that time. It makes no sense when things don't make sense. It usually is because it's a lie. Makes no sense, and when things don't make sense, it usually because it's a lie. I think they all knew prior to Monday what happened. Oh, you're welcome. I had fun. Yeah, I have so much of this crap. If you go over there in the morning and your friend doesn't answer the door and you have their code, so you go in and no one's in there and you're supposed to be there, pick up the kids and stuff, or help her out or whatever, no one's there, and then you realize your car's there. What's so wrong with just calling the cops then? It's because he didn't know who did what at that point. He just knew that, he knew that Shanann was not in a good mental place, remember? Shanann's not in a good mental place. So could she have hurt herself or the children, and the children? Cops should have been called immediately at 9. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Thank you. Oh, well, I'll just leave it up. You guys can just have at it. But at that point, you just never know. Like, nobody even called Chris. They didn't call Chris right away. You want to talk about theories? I always said that if you thought that Shanann's plan was to kill the girls and then wake up and blame Chris, and then he goes away goes away and is being charged with, killing the kids. Shanann sets him up like that. But then you would need somebody in the house to be your alibi. And that's why Nicole Atkinson would have slept over, because then she wakes up, they wake up, and then they find, the children together. And it would have been like, well, I just got home from, being out of town. The girls were sleeping. I went in the bed sleep. And that they were, something happened while she was gone. Because Chris, has this new girlfriend and wanted to start this new life, whatever, blah, blah. That's the only way that makes sense if you think that Shanann would have had anything to do with this, in my opinion. But that would be a really calculated thing, right? And then something went horribly wrong. But with that in mind, you're saying then two people were both in their heads thinking that they were going to, how they were going to do this or whatever. But never considered that angle, and have been all around Robin Hood's barnyard with hypothesis. No, I don't believe it was calculated. I'm just saying, the people that think that Shanann hurt the children. I'm saying, like, what do you think the play was then? It doesn't make sense. Unless you're, like, the only way that makes sense is if you're going to try to blame him. Because there's no way that you're killing Chris. You're just never going to be able to overpower him. Because he's stronger than you. So, but what, you think she snapped and then it went down exactly the way he said it originally, the first time? I just think if that's the case, I question why Chris wouldn't have called 911. Or since Chris just went about his day like it was any other day. Was it truly any other day for him? Don't know. All I know is I would never, ever, ever say that I harmed my son. Ever. So he did. And, well, not if she's sleeping. Not if she was sleeping. And if he wants to be saying that, then I think he should be where he's at. As a parent, you protect your kid. As a parent, you love your kid. I would never say that I did that I did that and that my parents think that. I would never let whoever hurt my kids get away with that. I mean, but then again, I'm a rational thinker. I'm a logical thinker. These two, I really didn't think that Chris was spiraling. I think that Chris was, finally doing things that he enjoyed. You know, he loves, cars, and he went to that, museum, and he went to that race, and he was doing things with Nicole Kessinger that he wanted to be doing. And he would have probably been fine doing those with Shanann. I just don't think he was happy. I think he was miserable, but didn't realize he was miserable. And didn't realize, okay, I can do these fun things and I can bring my daughters too. And I don't see, I think that's what Nicole Kessinger was saying. Why would you think that you need to kill your family to be with me? Because we've already talked about this. Like, he didn't need to kill his family to be with me, and he knew that. So, and I believe that. As a parent, you would give your own life for your child. Yep. 100%. So, it's only an opinion, but the only reason that they went to Wisconsin was to get Chris to admit to killing the girls, and they succeeded. That's the only reason they went to Wisconsin. That's the only thing that makes sense logically, and I do believe that I'm hopeful that CBI and FBI are logical people. You don't go though. I do think though that they knew that Chris wasn't some, and they thought that he was different. And they said that like it all happened so quickly, and we didn't really get to talk to you ever again after you just said what you said, and that was it. And it's like, well, because you guys did a horrible job, like you guys should have still been interrogating him and questioning him, and that shouldn't have ended like that. I'm not sure why I did. Oh. Hello there, Cardinal. Cardi B. I don't really have theories. I'm telling you, my theory is that they covered stuff up, and why. If it's so open and shut, you don't need to do any of this. And they did. I proved it. They wrote in the report the reason for going to Wisconsin was to ask more about Trent and Amanda. Then they should be fired. Why? They both lied. Why are you even giving that even a fucking extra second of your time? I'm gonna be talking about the CBI visit on my channel tomorrow. Which one? The CBI to Wisconsin? Trent and Amanda, the fuck out of here. Stupid. Just the stupidest thing I heard. They never met each other in their lives. They didn't know each other. There's zero connection. Oh my God. No. They wanted Chris to admit to killing the kids. Because remember, he said that he didn't kill the kids. And he said that he would never admit it. But he just signed the papers just to sign the papers. But he wasn't going to give that up. He wasn't going to do that in court. He wasn't going to admit that he did that in court. And they got him to admit that he killed the kids in Wisconsin. They didn't find anything about Amanda or Trent. Break. I know that they did say, they're like, why are all these people claiming to have sexual relations with you, Chris? No, that's funny. He's like, yeah, I don't even. He's like, John Walsh told me about one. How about this? Why don't you cuff the fuckers and throw them in jail for a little bit? Maybe people won't do that shit anymore. But you didn't. Was there any consequences for what Trent Bolt did? No. Was there any consequences for what Amanda did? No. But we go streaking at a football game and we get arrested, but Trent Bolt can hinder an investigation and prosecution, and nothing happens to his lips. Bullshit. Then I want to be able to streak in the Super Bowl and just get tackled and not arrested and just taken off. The main roller door garage does. Yeah, but they were trying to say that I'm not disagreeing with you, Ann, there at all. I'm saying that what they were trying to make it seem like is that it was lifting up the garage door to see if it would alert. That was what Nick said, that he was trying to get the alarm to go off. That's not what happened. They were inside that home. And they were doing a bunch of whack shit, like having to, they have the phone with them, they leave, then now we have to put the phone back. Well, geniuses just go through the basement. I know. That's what. I mean, and then I will just tell them, like, what? How are you arresting me? You didn't even arrest Trent Bolt. And they're going to be like, who the fuck's Trent Bolt? Wasting police time. They should have been charged. Yeah, they should have been charged. Because then people won't mess with investigations. Like, oh, don't worry about it. Well, I'm sorry, but that's defamation of character, too. And if this would have went to, trial, you think you're going to put Trent Bolt on the stand? Yeah, I just got my lips done. And I'm just so happy to be here. Nick, if Cincinnati wins, I'm going streaking down the court. A couple laps around my cul-de-sac. It is. It's a serious crime. Nicole Atkinson committed that crime. Who found the phone? Nick. All within 1 minute and 52 seconds or something. Clearly he wasn't looking for humans. He was looking for a phone. Why would you even think Shanann's phone's there? If Shanann's not there, why would her phone be there? Shanann always has her phone. They knew, yeah, they knew both of them had lied. That can't be the truth. We're out here to talk to you about Trent Bolt. Who the fuck's Trent Bolt? Oh, you don't know him? Oh, he said that you guys were, he said that you're, giving it to him. What? I mean, wait, what? How? Oh, you mean like Thrive? Giving him some Thrive pills? No, giving it to him. Oh no. Oh no. I was kind of too busy with Nicole Kessinger. What report number is this? 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. How could this be 4? This. It's really weird. Ooh. Whatever it is. Oh. All right. Go back and watch the beginning of this. It's a great episode. I'm telling you. Liars! I'm telling you, Cindy thought that Chris Miller was Chris Watts and that she met him in New Orleans and then realized that that wasn't her husband and then told the other people that she never met, and she told the CBI that she never met Chris Watts, but told the police, yeah, I just saw them in New Orleans back, April, May for a big who's who. Oh, which is it, Cindy? They definitely wouldn't have been calling Trent. That would have been a state's witness. But the defense wouldn't have been calling Trent at all. Oh, perfect. Put your earbuds in. Enjoy it. Lana, you're tired, girl. You work so hard. Don't forget to rest. I am going to bed. Love you all. All my new folks that have come over to pop in from 80s channel. Glad that you're here. And, yep, start this puppy up from the beginning. You'll enjoy it. Night.